HR horror and funny stories.
This is a series of some HR horror and funny stories. The aim is to entertain but also to enrich your vocabulary and listening skills. Story number 1, Ghosting. Ghosting is more common than I had ever imagined. Recently, 2 candidates I recruited, phone screened and with whom I arranged phone interviews with the hiring manager, were not available as scheduled, he told us. Despite showing interest and interviewing exceptionally well, the candidates mysteriously disappeared. Both did not return the hiring manager's 2 calls and completely avoided contact with me via email and text. In all of my nearly 25 years of experience as a headhunter, I have never seen such a disregard for professional protocol and courtesy. I would have respected these candidates more if they just sent an email declining the hiring manager's interview and said nothing more. It was as if he fell off the face of the earth. I always learned never to burn a bridge since this is a very small world indeed. They may learn the hard way when an employer ghosts them, that because the hiring manager of that company remembers their experience with them. HR horror story number 2, Honesty kills. Honesty is usually a virtue in employees. But for one interviewer at Hayes Recruitment, they would rather their candidates left their true feelings at home. Honesty is definitely not the best policy at a role we recently had for a well-known banking group. The finance manager conducting first-stage interviews was asking very typical questions and unfortunately one candidate we put forward was a bit too honest. When asked how they enjoyed their accounting studies they replied, "I hated every moment of it, dullest experience of my life." If that shocked you, then prepare yourself, it gets worse. They also said their weaknesses were laziness, according to their mom. And possibly the worst answer you could ever give to the question of why you want to leave your current role, to get away from some of the idiots I work with.
HR horror story number 3, how to insult your applicants and get away with it. You'll be relieved to hear that not all horror stories end badly, as Sarah Corbolio, head of employee success at Unito, found out. As a straight-talking HR leader, Sarah was horrified when she realized she'd sent her raw interview notes to a candidate. In my impressions, I'd written that I found him pretty arrogant, so I was expecting a super bad Glassdoor review or something, she cringed. But lucky for her, the applicant's response was a surprising one. Instead, the person replied saying, "Well, you must be pretty embarrassed, but it's actually refreshing to hear what recruiters really think of me for once. Would you mind jumping on a quick call to discuss how I can present myself better?" So, of course, I called him back and had a super constructive discussion that ended up changing my opinion of him. Never ended up moving forward with him because he didn't have a Canadian work permit, but would have definitely invited him for an interview after that.
Did you like to hear this first part of stories? If yes, expect for more at our Get the Job training. HR. Where it all starts.